Xiaomi has been acing the mid-range camera game for a while now, starting with the likes of the Mi A1 and the Redmi Note 5 Pro. The Note 7 Pro that came out earlier this year is the best in the segment, but now Realme have stepped things up too, and there's a strong contender in the Realme 5 Pro. This is Sandeep from RevAtlas, and let's see whether Realme has managed to build something better or not in this camera comparison. Before you get started, if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more content like this. The Redmi Note 7 Pro has a dual camera setup with a half-inch 48MP Sony IMX586 sensor along with a 5MP f2.4 depth sensor. The Realme 5 Pro has the same primary sensor with identical 0.8 micron pixel size and a similar f1.79 aperture, but it's a quad camera device which also has an 8MP f2.2 ultra wide angle camera and lastly a 2MP f2.4 macro camera. The last camera, which is what gives the bragging rights of a quad camera device, is actually a 2MP f2.4 depth sensor, which isn't all that great, so is more of a triple camera device that's useful than a quad camera one. Regardless of how the primary sensor remains the same, the quality and other aspects can change quite a bit depending on the software and the processing. That's what we can see in these two phones as well. In terms of sharpness, the Note 7 Pro has the advantage here with better resolved detail and more defined edges. This is also evident in the file sizes, but the Note 7 Pro is roughly twice the size compared to a Realme. The Realme 5 Pro images are more saturated, while the Note 7 Pro is more natural looking. Dynamic range is about the same on both, but they have different tendencies. The Note 7 Pro chooses to extract more detail from the shadows at the cost of slightly overexposed highlights, while the Realme chooses to preserve details from the highlights at the sake of underexposed shadows. Both the phones shoot in a pixel bin 12MP output by default, which gives a resulting pixel size of 1.6, but you can also shoot in true 48MP resolution at 0.8 micron pixel size, which gives you larger file sizes with higher resolution. The file size is around 2.5 to 3 times larger than the regular ones, and there's not much to be gained using this mode on either since the sensor is meant to be used with pixel binning. The sharpness is similar, but you end up getting more noise. Portrait mode is very similar on both the devices with good edge detection as well as blurring, but on the Realme 5 Pro the saturation can impact badly as we mentioned earlier. You can see that the face is being very yellowish red on the Realme 5 Pro shot compared to the Redmi Note 7 Pro. The Note 7 Pro also has better sharpness on the portion in focus, as the Realme 5 Pro tends to soften the said portion in portrait mode. The Realme 5 Pro has two tricks up its sleeve that the Note 7 Pro can't match, and that's due to its ultra wide angle camera and macro cameras. The ultra wide angle camera helps create some dramatic looking perspective and images, while the macro camera helps get very close to the action, but the image isn't very impressive, but at least you can focus despite being up so close. In terms of low light images, the Realme 5 Pro is better by default. It chooses to go for a slower shutter speed while keeping the ISO in check to prevent too much noise from creeping in. Here you can see the Realme 5 Pro choose an ISO of 6400, while the Note 7 Pro went all the way up to 25600, which resulted in the unusable image with high noise. Regardless of this, both the phones are better off being used in their night modes. The night mode on Note 7 Pro and the nightscape mode on the Realme 5 Pro help reduce noise and improve sharpness and detail as well as the overall exposure of the frame. But here too, the difference between the phones is even more apparent, as the Realme 5 Pro photo is very good with much lower noise, better sharpness and detail as well as exposure compared to the Note 7 Pro shot. The only downside is the excessive saturation and inaccurate colors compared to Note 7 Pro, but that's something that a bit of tweaking can help fix if needed, but the other attributes on Note 7 Pro can't easily be corrected. The front-facing camera is 16MP f2 unit that's housed within the notch on the Realme 5 Pro, while Note 7 Pro gets a 13MP f2 unit also within the notch. The Realme 5 Pro has better details and sharpness compared to the Note 7 Pro shots, which are also good. But putting them side by side shows that the Realme 5 Pro is even better than the already good Note 7 Pro. Realme 5 Pro also has better dynamic range, but in terms of saturation and color accuracy, the Note 7 Pro is better compared to the 5 Pro, which is very saturated. Portrait mode is similar on both with good edge detection and blurring, but like with the rear camera, the front camera too tends to soften the portion in focus on the Realme 5 Pro, and as a result the Note 7 Pro becomes more detailed and sharp. In terms of video, you have two options, 1080p 30fps with EIS or 4K 30fps without EIS on both. Realme 5 Pro has a slight edge in terms of sharpness, and dynamic range is about the same, and so is the stabilization. Realme 5 Pro video is however again more saturated compared to Note 7 Pro video, which can look unnatural at times. The front-facing camera video is better on the Realme 5 Pro owing to the EIS, which gives very stable footage that looks more refined, and the bitrate is about the same, around 20 megabits per second, and the overall quality is also similar. This is the front-facing camera on the Redmi Note 7 Pro capturing 1080p video at 30fps. There's no EIS on board, but let me know what you guys think about the stabilization, the overall dynamic range, the sharpness, detail, and how well is picking up my voice in this scenario. This is the front-facing camera of the Realme 5 Pro capturing 1080p 30fps video. Let me know what you guys think about the overall sharpness, the dynamic range, how well is picking up my voice in this particular scenario, and the stabilization as well. The Note 7 Pro is still a strong fighter and an amazing camera phone. The higher amount of detail resolved and the better portrait mode show just that. With the Realme 5 Pro with a better low light experience, ultra wide angle and macro cameras as well as EIS with the front facing camera will still be a more versatile and capable pick if you can live with that extra saturation. Thanks for watching this video. Please do hit the subscribe button if you liked it. Starting from today, we'll be doing something new and interesting where we try to give back to the community, the creator community on YouTube that is. There are a lot of creators out there who make amazing content, be it in technology, automotive or different industries, and it's actually very difficult to get discovered, especially with the new algorithm that YouTube has. So we thought of doing something different by suggesting a new creator at the end of each video that we make, and hopefully this would help improve the discovery for all the creators across YouTube. It doesn't matter how many subscribers the person has, but as long as they make content that I am interested in and I like watching, I would recommend them, considering that they might be people that you guys also like watching. So first one today is someone I know very closely. He's a good friend of mine as well, Nirmal from Technique. You should watch his videos, especially if you want the camera tips and tricks, the camera reviews and the camera comparisons. He makes some great videos out there and he's always regular with his content. You get multiple videos every week, and he also has in-depth knowledge and has been in the industry for a really long time, so you can totally trust his judgment. So I leave the link to his channel and one of my favorite videos from him in the description below. Please make sure that you check out his channel and subscribe to his channel as well if you like it. Other than that, please let me know if you guys have any suggestions to other creators as well that I should look into, and probably one that I can feature as well. It might not make a big difference considering that my channel itself is not huge, but at least it does make some difference. Thanks for watching this video. See you again in the next one.